Hello, hello. I'm Miss Tant, and I am here with Mr. Herring, Miss Charles, and Miss Laganza. This week in the English class, we are going to be studying the California Learning Standard, RL1. Let's get rolling.
Cite strong and thorough textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says explicitly, as well as inferences drawn from the text.
Cite is a word that means you'll be using information from a text as proof. We mostly do this by using a quote.
Strong is also important. When it says strong, it means that your evidence will really help the reader to believe what it is that you're trying to prove.
Thorough is a word that means complete. That means your evidence is complete in showing what you are trying to prove.
Analysis is a word that means you've figured out something about the text.
Sometimes you have to figure out how to say something in your own words. That's pretty much the same thing as the text says. We call that being explicit.
To illustrate, read this small story and then guess, what time of day does this story take place?
You may have figured out that the story takes place in the morning. That's your analysis. The text never says those words, but you've figured it out. Now, what sentence from the story best proves that it is morning?
You may have chosen the sentence that reads, "The alarm clock rang at 7:30, but Tom was already awake from the sun beaming through his window."
In this instance, you figured out it was morning. That was your analysis. The text never said it was morning, but there were enough clues in the text to let you know clearly it is morning.
When the text is that clear, the word we use to describe that condition is that the text is explicit. The text was explicit in showing you that it was morning.
If you used that quote, you would have cited it, and the teacher would give you full credit since that sentence is strong and thorough in showing us that it's morning.
Sometimes the text is not explicit. Sometimes you are making an educated guess as to what you think is probably happening. That is also analysis.
For example, go back to our story. Answer this question. Based on the evidence, do you think Tom is rich or poor? What sentence best proves that analysis?
I'm betting you figured out from this passage that Tom is probably poor. Now, what sentence from the passage best proves this analysis?
You probably selected the sentence that reads, "Tom pulled on his ripped jeans and t-shirt, searched through his nightstand for a couple of needed quarters, and left disappointed."
In this case, the text is not clear. Wealthy people wear ripped up jeans. Wealthy people wear t-shirts. Wealthy people may also look through their room for money.
When you make a guess at what is probably true, it means the evidence is not explicit. In fact, your analysis can use that word probably. Tom is probably poor.
When you make these educated guesses, we call them inferences.
Here's a fun example. Put on a movie you've never seen before. Watch the first 15 minutes, then pause it. Make a guess as to what you think will happen next based on what you just saw. You know what you just did? You made an inference because you can't 100% prove that you're correct.
Let's take one more look at our standard this week based on what we have learned, but I'm going to change some of the words based on this conversation.
Use quotes from a text to do one of two things. To 100% prove something that is clearly in the text, explicit, or to mostly prove something that's not totally clear in the text, inference.
Okay, get ready next week to read and make totally true statements about what you've read, as well as inference about what is likely true. Thanks, and see you next time.